Curious which nations envy Cambodia's 2025 success? Stick around to uncover the top 10 countries watching Cambodia's rise with jealousy. With a booming economy, growing tourism, and massive infrastructure projects, Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth has the world talking. From garment exports to new airports, its progress is unstoppable. Which countries wish they could match this ASEAN star? Count down with us from 10 to 1 to find out. Like and subscribe to stay updated on global success stories. Don't miss the surprising details. Watch till the end for the full scoop. Number 10. Myanmar. Myanmar watches Cambodia's 2025 success with envy as its own economy struggles. Cambodia's GDP is set to grow by 6.3%, driven by garment exports and tourism, while Myanmar faces political instability and sanctions. Cambodia's garment industry, employing over 900,000 workers, generated $12.8 billion in 2023, and 2025 sees even more growth with non-garment manufacturing like electronics rising. Myanmar's exports, mainly gas and agriculture, are hit hard by global sanctions and internal conflict, limiting growth to under 2%. Cambodia's new Teko International Airport, set to handle 13 million passengers, boosts tourism, while Myanmar's airports remain underdeveloped. Foreign direct investment in Cambodia soared 56.7% in 2024, but Myanmar sees little foreign interest due to unrest. Cambodia's stable government and ASEAN integration via the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership give it an edge. Myanmar's leaders see Cambodia's infrastructure projects like the Sihanoukville port expansion and wish for similar progress. With Cambodia's GDP per capita at $2,924 in 2025, Myanmar, stuck below $1,500, feels left behind. Number 9. Laos. Laos looks at Cambodia's 2025 economic boom with jealousy. Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth, as per the IMF, outshines Laos's projected 4% growth. Cambodia's garment and electronics exports thrive, while Laos relies heavily on hydropower exports, which face price volatility. Cambodia's tourism sector expects 7.5 million visitors in 2025, boosted by projects like the Kampot International Tourism Port. Laos's tourism, while growing, lags with only 2 million visitors. Cambodia's infrastructure, like the Phnom Penh Logistics Center, attracts investors, but Laos struggles with poor roads and limited connectivity. Cambodia's FDI reached 9.2% of GDP in 2024, while Laos's FDI is lower due to bureaucratic hurdles. Cambodia's government stability and business-friendly policies, like tax exemptions for tourism, contrast with Laos's regulatory challenges. Laos is less competitive than Cambodia in ASEAN's economic race. Laos envies Cambodia's ability to diversify exports and attract global brands while its own economy remains narrow and vulnerable. Number 8. Nepal. Nepal envies Cambodia's rapid growth in 2025. Cambodia's economy is projected to grow at 6.3%, while Nepal's growth hovers around 4.5%. Cambodia's garment exports and tourism boom, with 7.5 million visitors expected, dwarf Nepal's tourism, which struggles with 1.2 million arrivals due to limited infrastructure. Cambodia's new Teko International Airport and Sihanoukville port expansion boost trade and connectivity, while Nepal's airports and roads lag behind. Cambodia's FDI rose 56.7% in 2024, driven by manufacturing, but Nepal's FDI is low due to political instability and complex regulations. Cambodia's stable leadership under Prime Minister Hun Manet contrasts with Nepal's frequent government changes. Nepal's economy relies on remittances and agriculture, while Cambodia diversifies into electronics and automotive parts. Nepal's slower progress compared to Cambodia's ASEAN integration and RCEP benefits. Nepal wishes for Cambodia's business-friendly policies and infrastructure investments, which drive its GDP per capita to $2,924, far above Nepal's $1,400. Number 7. Bangladesh. Bangladesh is jealous of Cambodia's 2025 economic success. Cambodia's GDP growth of 6.3% outpaces Bangladesh's 5.5%, which is slowed by energy shortages and political unrest. Cambodia's garment exports, worth $12.8 billion in 2023, continue to grow, while Bangladesh's textile industry faces rising costs and competition. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors in 2025, supported by projects like the Teko International Airport, while Bangladesh's tourism remains underdeveloped with only 1 million arrivals. Cambodia's infrastructure, like the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway, attracts FDI, which hit 9.2% of GDP in 2024. Bangladesh struggles with inadequate infrastructure and lower FDI. Cambodia's stable government and ASEAN ties give it an edge, while Bangladesh faces governance issues. Cambodia's diversification into electronics and automotive parts contrasts with Bangladesh's reliance on garments. Social media buzz notes Cambodia's rise as a manufacturing hub, leaving Bangladesh envious of its neighbor's progress and 2,924 GDP per capita. Number 6. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka envies Cambodia's 2025 economic surge. Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth, as per the IMF, overshadows Sri Lanka's 4% growth, hampered by a recent debt crisis. Cambodia's garment and electronics exports thrive, while Sri Lanka's exports, mainly tea and apparel, struggle with global price drops. Cambodia's tourism sector, expecting 7.5 million visitors, benefits from new infrastructure like the Kampot International Tourism Port. Sri Lanka's tourism, with 1.5 million arrivals, lags due to political instability. Cambodia's FDI soared 56.7% in 2024, but Sri Lanka's FDI is low due to economic uncertainty. Cambodia's stable leadership and ASEAN integration via RCEP contrast with Sri Lanka's governance challenges. Infrastructure projects like the Phnom Penh Logistics Center make Cambodia a trade hub, while Sri Lanka's ports need upgrades. Cambodia's GDP per capita hits $2,924, while Sri Lanka's is around $1,800. Social media highlights Cambodia's manufacturing and tourism edge, making Sri Lanka wish for similar resilience and growth. Number 5. Pakistan. Pakistan looks at Cambodia's 2025 success with envy. Cambodia's 6.3% GDP growth outstrips Pakistan's 3.5%, which is slowed by political turmoil and energy crises. Cambodia's garment exports, worth $12.8 billion in 2023, and growing electronics sector drive its economy, while Pakistan's textile exports face global competition. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors, boosted by the Teko International Airport, but Pakistan's tourism struggles with security concerns, attracting under 1 million visitors. Cambodia's FDI hit 9.2% of GDP in 2024, while Pakistan's FDI is low due to instability. Cambodia's infrastructure, like the Sihanoukville port expansion, supports trade, but Pakistan's ports face delays and inefficiencies. Cambodia's stable government and ASEAN ties contrast with Pakistan's governance issues. Cambodia's GDP per capita is $2,924, while Pakistan's is around $1,600. Social media notes Cambodia's manufacturing and tourism boom, making Pakistan jealous of its neighbor's ability to attract investment and diversify its economy. Number 4. Vietnam. Vietnam, despite its own growth, envies Cambodia's 2025 success. Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth, per the IMF, edges out Vietnam's 6.5%. Cambodia's garment exports and emerging electronics sector thrive, while Vietnam faces rising labor costs, pushing manufacturers to Cambodia. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors, supported by the Kampot International Tourism Port, while Vietnam's 12 million arrivals grow slower due to saturation. Cambodia's FDI surged 56.7% in 2024, outpacing Vietnam's as investors see Cambodia as a cheaper alternative. Infrastructure like the Phnom Penh Logistics Center boosts Cambodia's trade, while Vietnam's ports face congestion. Cambodia's business-friendly policies like tax exemptions contrast with Vietnam's stricter regulations. Cambodia's GDP per capita hits $2,924, closing the gap with Vietnam's $4,500. Social media highlights Cambodia's rise as a manufacturing hub, making Vietnam jealous of its neighbor's rapid diversification and ASEAN integration. Cambodia's lower costs and stability under Prime Minister Hun Manet fuel this envy. Number 3. Thailand. Thailand envies Cambodia's 2025 economic boom. Cambodia's 6.3% GDP growth outshines Thailand's 4.5%, slowed by political uncertainty. Cambodia's garment exports, worth $12.8 billion in 2023, and electronics growth attract investors, while Thailand's manufacturing faces higher costs. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors, boosted by the Teko International Airport, while Thailand's 30 million visitors grow slower due to market saturation. Cambodia's FDI hit 9.2% of GDP in 2024, surpassing Thailand's as firms relocate to Cambodia for lower wages. Infrastructure like the Sihanoukville port expansion makes Cambodia a trade hub, while Thailand's projects lag. Cambodia's stable leadership contrasts with Thailand's border tensions and governance issues. Cambodia's GDP per capita is $2,924, while Thailand's is $7,000 but growing slowly. Cambodia's ASEAN integration and RCEP benefits make Thailand jealous of its neighbor's rapid rise as a manufacturing and tourism powerhouse. Number 2. Indonesia. Indonesia envies Cambodia's 2025 success. Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth, per the IMF, surpasses Indonesia's 5%. Cambodia's garment and electronics exports boom, while Indonesia's commodity-driven economy faces price volatility. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors, supported by projects like the Kampot International Tourism Port, while Indonesia's 10 million arrivals grow slowly due to infrastructure gaps. Cambodia's FDI surged 56.7% in 2024, outpacing Indonesia's as investors favor Cambodia's low costs. Infrastructure like the Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway boosts trade, while Indonesia's ports face delays. Cambodia's business-friendly policies, like tax exemptions, contrast with Indonesia's complex regulations. Cambodia's GDP per capita hits $2,924, while Indonesia's is $5,000 but stagnating. Social media notes Cambodia's manufacturing and tourism edge, making Indonesia jealous of its ASEAN neighbor's rapid diversification and stability under Prime Minister Hun Manet. Cambodia's RCEP integration further fuels this envy. Number 1. Philippines. The Philippines is most envious of Cambodia's 2025 success. Cambodia's 6.9% GDP growth per the IMF outpaces the Philippines' 6%. Cambodia's garment exports, worth $12.8 billion in 2023, and electronics sector thrive, while the Philippines' exports, mainly electronics, face global competition. Cambodia's tourism expects 7.5 million visitors, boosted by the Teko International Airport, while the Philippines' 6 million arrivals lag due to limited infrastructure. Cambodia's FDI hit 9.2% of GDP in 2024, surpassing the Philippines, as investors prefer Cambodia's lower costs. Projects like the Sihanoukville port expansion make Cambodia a trade hub, while the Philippines' ports face inefficiencies. Cambodia's stable government and ASEAN integration contrast with the Philippines' political challenges. Cambodia's GDP per capita is $2,924, closing in on the Philippines' $4,000. Social media highlights Cambodia's manufacturing and tourism boom, making the Philippines jealous of its neighbor's rapid rise and diversification. Thanks for watching. Did Cambodia's rise surprise you? Like, subscribe, and share for more global insights. Stay curious and join us for the next countdown of inspiring success stories.